Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to PyroFalkon's Let's Play Extravaganza, where it's your Let's Play 2. Today is the start of a new series. We are playing RimWorld, a colony simulator by Tynan Sylvester, as you can see in the top right corner. Thank you very much for joining me. This will be limited audience participation, and this is coming out way later than I intended it to. If you're watching this in the middle of September 2015, I apologize. This should have been out about 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to get into all the stupid technical issues and life issues that has delayed the series multiple times, but a benefit of this coming out so late is that it is totally patched to the latest version. It's version 12D, still in alpha, but you can purchase the game on RimWorldGame.com, and a link for that is in the video description. So I'm not going to spend too much time in this beginning part talking about it, but we are going to create a new world and create a new colony. So it is basically a survival game, and we are going to be running a little colony of peeps, and hopefully they will survive. Here is our world. I seeded it with the hawk seed, and we have loads of places we can set up shop. I always try to prefer a place like, year-round growing periods. That's usually pretty good, although I want a little bit of more of a challenge. The cool thing is you can set up shop anywhere you want. Like, you could set up shop here in the frozen tundra where you can never grow anything, and it's probably very difficult, if not impossible, to actually survive up there, but you never know. So I'm clicking around and I'm just looking at the growing period here in the bottom of this information. I actually don't know if I'm capturing my mouse right now. I'm going to double check that in just a second. March to October. February to November. So it's almost year-round, but there will be just enough cold that we will be challenged, and we can set up shop here in this mountainous region. That should be perfect. Okay. So let's see. That's coordinates 33.6, 18.1. Okay, new colony. All right, so this is where part of the cool stuff happens with RimWorld, a very unique feature. There are 3 AI storytellers who will constantly look at your colony and try to send you challenges to constantly increase the difficulty level while still keeping the challenge reasonable. So we have Cassandra Classic, we have Phoebe Chillax, who takes longer between events. She's sort of the easy mode. And then Randy Random can do whatever the hell he wants, which means sometimes he'll send you something impossible to deal with. Just for the sake of this series, we're going to stick with Cassandra Classic and Rough. Challenge is the default, and I'm kind of a wuss, and I want a slightly easier game than Challenge. So with Rough, hopefully that means we can get out of here and survive the planet. So that world, what did I say? It was 33 something. 33, 18, I said? Yeah, there we go. Yep, there we go. All right, that's where we want to go. Okay, so here we get to pick our 3 starting colonists, their names and their nicknames. We can re-roll their traits if we need to, which we will have to do. And this is where limited audience participation comes in. About a month ago, I released the trailer to this series and asked you guys to sign up if you want to be colonists, and you all swimmingly, God, you can tell it's been a while since I've done this. You've all tremendously responded. I have a bunch of names here, and the first 3 people have been determined. It's just going to be first come, first serve, and if you are interested in joining the colony, please let me know in the comments if you didn't already in the trailer, because I've got all that written down. So I'm going to cut the video here for just 2 seconds for you while I do some renaming and some re-rolling to get 3 colonists who will help us out. Okay, we have our first 3 colonists for our colony. I really lucked out on the first 2 rolls, especially. Our first colonist is Hal, named after Hybrid and Legacy, who is one of our newest fans on the streams. He is steadfast, which means he's going to be able to deal with problems in the colony better, which is great. We don't need anyone going insane. He's psychically deaf, which means that when there are psychic waves hitting the colony, he will be less likely to be affected. Actually, he's not going to be affected, but he is slothful, which means he's going to be slow at doing everything we want him to do. It's going to be a bit of a problem, but we'll deal with it. Now, Ricky DeMont here can't shoot worth anything, but he is also psychically dull. He's a teetotaler, which means he won't actually be drinking any booze, but he's a pessimist, which means he's always upset at everything that's going on. However, he's very good at growing, which is great since we are in an area that has such a huge growing season, and he's great at mining too, so getting raw resources shouldn't be a problem. I wish you could fire a gun, but that's fine. He's just going to chase everyone with a knife or a sword and stab them to death. And our Ricky DeMont, named after Ricky DeMont, who was the first person to respond to the trailer. So he gets to be one of our starters. And Tink, who is named after one of my most loyal fans, Tinkerbell. She is a great shooter, great meleeer, so she's going to be our primary soldier. She's lazy, but that only affects her actual work rather than like her walking speed, similar to Hal. Having Tink and Hal at the same time means it's going to take a little time to get some work done, but that's okay. She's a careful shooter, which means it takes longer for her to fire, but she's more accurate. And she's tolerant of the heat, which is good because we're in a fairly warm climate. She's also pretty good with animals, great at growing, again, which is great since we're in a long growing season. Decent at constructing. We'll get her studied on some of those skills, and she'll be good to go. So Hal, DeMont, and Tink are our first 3 colonists. So let's go see if they can survive on this RimWorld. The 3 of you awake in your cryosleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown RimWorld. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. So let's see if we can survive. Although right off the bat, we're in pretty good shape since there are some deer nearby, because we will be able to take advantage of that. Alright, so the opening moves of your colony are always a little quick. Is this our pet? We have a little Yorkshire Terrier. Age 9, Machiavelli. I always had trouble pronouncing that name. Okay, so here's our 3 colonists. We're going to try to get everybody equipped. Pause, everybody. Let me take a second to think. Alright, so since Tink is our careful shooter, I'm giving her the pistol so she can fire it more quickly. Hal is our other shooter, so he can take the rifle, and DeMont is our non-shooter, so he can take the knife wherever the knife landed. Where the heck did the knife land? Holy crap. Is one of you sitting on it? There's always a knife that drops at the beginning. Unpause. I see no knife. Huh. Well, oh, wait. There it is behind the tree. I saw the little X. All right, DeMont, take the knife. Okay, in any survival situation, the first things you have to worry about is food and shelter. We have some pre-packaged survival meals here in these yellow envelopes, so we're going to unforbid them. When you drop, all of these resources are forbidden. It helps you direct where your peeps are going to go, especially because usually there are some resources that land quite far, like these. But we need to protect the food pretty quickly, because if we don't get the pre-packaged survival meals protected, unfortunately, these jerk animals are going to start eating them. So, now you have to worry about temperature in this game as well, so I'm going to open my moves by creating a large walk-in freezer. And one of the coolest features of this game that I like is in the Orders tab, you can actually make plans and put down some invisible little squares while you plan your plan, I guess. Plan where you're putting stuff. So we're going to do that. And steel auto door right there. And time in. Alright, so now I'm not going to go over every little bit of the game to you, mainly because I've sort of forgotten a lot. Like, I've been playing this game for a while, since I think Alpha 7. It's just an awesome game. I really, really enjoy it. But if you do want me to slow down or show you any information, anything specific, please let me know in the comments. And if you've been playing longer than me and have some tips, let me know in the comments, because your goal is to get off this planet. Now, when they made the game, they intentionally made it so, like, there is really technically no winning or losing. In the sense that, you're just supposed to have fun with it. It's actually difficult to win most of the time because of all sorts of bad things that are eventually wind up happening to you. Why is Tink not doing anything? Oh, Tink is hauling around some food. Let's, man, it's been a while since I've played it, and I haven't really messed around very much with Alpha 10. And Alpha 10 added a bunch of different interfaces, and that's kind of throwing me off. Alright, so the first thing we're doing now is I'm basically prioritizing what everybody's job should be. And I always tell everybody maximum priority for these things. Okay, handle. What is handle? Oh, that's animals. That's right. Okay, so you get to handle animals. You guys don't. You can see the color of the squares in the priority list here tells you how good they are at it. So since this is all lit up with a big square, Demont is very good at animal handling. So that is a high number. Alright, so I need to make sure everybody constructs. Okay, everybody constructs. Everybody should be cutting plants. Everybody should grow. Everybody should mine. One chef, one hunter. And then I may as well just have everyone do everything until I have... Alright, actually, nobody does art until I say so. There we go, that should work. We have one researcher, so Hal is going to have to be pretty protected because we don't want him accidentally dying, and then we'll be pretty screwed. Okay, so I do have one hunter. I should have actually made Tink the hunter. Who is the hunter right now? The hunter is Tink. Okay, good. Alright, so Tink, your priority is to hunt if you are not doing firefighting, doctoring, patienting, or flicking, essentially. So the reason, PyroFalkon pro tip, you only ever want one freaking hunter is because they will often shoot each other in the head if you have multiple hunters. This is not a good thing. So I always set it for only a single hunter. Okay, now we need a butcher table and make it made out of wood. And we will extend wooden walls because wood is much cheaper than steel. I much prefer using wood as a building material, if I have any sort of choice in the matter. Okay. You may notice the art style is very similar to Prison Tycoon. I always do that. Prison Architect. It's very similar to Prison Architect, which is actually one reason why the game attracted me so much at the beginning, because I really like that art style. What are you doing, Tank? You are just moving stuff. Oh, right. I need to unforbid the wood. Okay. Is that pretty much all of our starting? Yeah, pretty much. We're going to have to get working on getting some new materials pretty quickly. Steel. Ooh, and I have several patches of steel around me. That's good. Steel is extremely valuable in this game, almost a little too valuable. Luckily, there's a ton of it that drops when you start the game, but unfortunately, it's always spread out everywhere. Like, this steel is so far from camp, I'm going to leave it forbidden for now, because I don't want my peeps running all over the map just to gather their opening materials. The game is luckily fair, so like at the beginning, you have a chance to get everybody kind of organized and set up. The game is not going to screw you over right off the bat, thankfully. But we're Right now we're actually doing pretty good as evening is falling on our first night. Not so bad here in our so far unnamed colony. Usually after you've been here a couple days, the game prompts you to name your colony. We're going to be calling it Hawkland in favor of you guys, my blazing hawks. So yeah, we're doing okay so far, and Tink is already passing out. Okay, guys, stop. Don't just pass out willy-nilly. Where's the furniture? I need to make them beds, but right now sleeping bags are going to have to do. So then we set owners. So Demont and Hal and Tink. All right, now I should. Guys, get. Really? You're gonna. Wait, what if I. There we go. So usually you don't have overt direct control over your peeps, but when you click one, you can tell them what to prioritize as a task, and sleeping is apparently not something I can prioritize, but I drafted them for a moment, which does put them under my direct control, and then I instantly undrafted them, so they kind of reprioritized on their own what bed to take. So at least now they have a little sleeping spot. Not the best, but, you know, whatever works for now. We are just getting started. No attacks yet, thankfully. These episodes are going to be about 20 minutes apiece. Obviously, the first couple nights, there isn't going to be much progress being made as we kind of get everything set up, but I have played RimWorld enough that I can usually zip through the first couple months pretty fast, and there will be times when not a lot happens, and if that is the case, I will, where are you going, Tank? Going for a walk. Okay. Oh, yay, our walk-in freezer's done. Not that it's really freezing anything at the moment. Alright, so let's see. I need to build a concrete floor, which somehow uses steel for some reason. And we'll use wooden floors for the first common room here. And then I also need to get some power generation going. So we need... Actually, we need a couple things. We need a battery. Put the battery there. And it's kind of dangerous putting a battery next to a wooden wall because batteries tend to short circuit and explode. Which, you know, it's usually not a good thing, but kind of need to put it there for now. Beggars can't be choosers when you're setting up your colony the first time and trying to get everything kind of organized. But we're doing all right. All right, so once we get these 2 rooms perfected and our solar panel generator thing operational, we'll start working on bedrooms, which will probably happen in tomorrow's episode unless these guys slow down for some reason. But so far, so good. Everyone's moving kind of pretty well. I was worried about Hal and Tink both being lazy in their own ways. However, their high stats sort of offset it. So they're... Oh, yeah, look at how they move. All right, good job, guys. Holy crap. I'm optimistic about this colony. Well done. All right, so I'm going to give a couple orders here. So I'm going to order them... Let's see, where are they? Construct... and repair is higher than mine on the priority list. Okay, good. So we're going to give the orders to mine some steel here, not a lot. And we're going to give the orders to start growing some food and some medicine. So here's a grow patch. And here's a grow... Ah, shoot. Growing zone. And pause a second, guys. Alright, so this is growing potatoes. This is going to grow Zerigium, which is medicinal plants. And then we'll also grow some rice, because that's very good food once we get a stove going. Alright, so that will do it for our first day. It's not much of a colony yet, but we are... getting places. We have a little tiny shelter already. I mean, that's better than nothing, right? At least our peeps have a warm place to sleep, or at least a closed place to sleep. And they have a little fridge. Not bad. Not good, but not bad. They're on their way. So thanks for watching, everyone. We're going to enter... Oh, that's the end of day 2. See? Goes pretty quick. So we're going to start day 3 and hopefully get everyone's bedrooms functional in tomorrow's episode. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you tomorrow for another one.